welcome to the Priggya Arora Show, where we speak about law, innovation, and entrepreneurship with people who have been there and done that. My name is Priggya Arora, founder of PA Legal, an intellectual property law firm in India. And today we have an amazing guest, Mr. Saakshar Duggal. He's an emerging technologies expert. He's a TEDx speaker, a cybersecurity trainer, and a practicing advocate at Delhi High Court. Welcome, Saakshar. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Priggya, for that warm introduction. And I'm completely, first of all, I would like to congratulate you on this fantastic, I think, the efforts that you're making. And more than efforts, I feel it's more your passion towards podcasting and, imbibing knowledge and spreading knowledge. So I'm very much excited to be here.
Thank you so much. And we'll now start with your life story and how did you become the person you are today?
Well, that's a bit of an odd story because generally when people talk about technology, they think that, okay, I must be having an engineering background. I must be a geek, coding every day, nothing like that. So from the beginning, first of all, I hated maths. So I always thought that I'll never end up in, any field which relates to science or technology because I thought that for that you need to be an engineer, and to be an engineer, you need maths. So I used to hate maths, and that's where I landed in humanities. But in humanities, during my 11th and 12th, I was reading a lot about technology. Somewhere, like before that, I got a few opportunities to speak about technology, but I was not much passionate on it. But from 11th standard, I gained some sort of interest as to what new technologies are there. And I realized one thing, that this is one field which will impact every single sector in the world. And it has actually the power to change the future. Yeah. And slowly and gradually, I realized that, these things are myth. It's all a myth that you need maths, you need engineering, you just need proper knowledge so that you can actually fit yourself in this industry. So fortunately, I gained this habit of gaining knowledge here and there. I started to meet different people, started reading some books, watching YouTube videos specifically. That helped me a lot. And for that, then I gained some sort of knowledge, and I banged some doors on schools, in colleges, that I want to talk about something. So they were earlier, obviously, they didn't entertain me as much as now, but they just thought that, okay, this field might be interesting because my topics were offbeat, like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cyberbullying. So I got a chance in a few institutions, and then my confidence also rose. And then I think I got the knack of, how to approach different clients. And this was happening in my college life. Then COVID came, and COVID helped. Fortunately, it helped this industry a lot. Actually, the IT sector boomed. So a lot of lectures were being done in the online space. And fortunately, now a lot of people know about technology, and they know the importance of technology. So that's my journey so far, and I'm looking forward to, spreading my ideas further.
Absolutely amazing. And I think, like you really said, we are living in an era where anybody can learn anything. And it's so easy because knowledge is so accessible. Previously, it wasn't this accessible, but now, and the speed with which the technology is growing, everybody should learn and keep learning about it.
That's very much true. And now I personally believe that post-COVID, earlier, yes, we had this misconceptions that technology is, they should only be understood by people in IT or engineering, and because our sector is different. But today, I think you should at least have the basic idea of technology. A major example I'll give is ChatGPT. Now, just imagine ChatGPT has created a revolution. Though I always say that ChatGPT has officially started the AI revolution, though before that also we had things, but they were not noticed very much. Now, ChatGPT is being noticed because everyone is seeing the immense potential it has, and it has the potential to actually, eat up a lot of jobs. So things like these, trends like these will come again and again, and that's why you have to be updated about technology, that how technology can actually, come in your sector and how you can leverage that technology.
Absolutely right. So, Saakshar, today we'll be mostly speaking about metaverse, and probably we can do a session on ChatGPT sometime later. But Let's start with metaverse. So first thing, I think we'll have to start with the basics, because a lot of our audience is also into legal field and they might not know the technical details of metaverse. So let's start with basics. What exactly is metaverse, how it functions, and then we'll come to the legal aspects.
Sure. So in short, I'll just explain the metaverse in very simple terms. So metaverse is a virtual universe. So I'll give the analogy of the real universe that we have. So in universe, what happens? There's a big universe, and inside the universe, there are different planets. The same goes for metaverse. Metaverse is a virtual universe, and there are different worlds, different, you can say, planets or worlds in that metaverse. And what are these planets? Each company has their own planet. Each company is when we say that each company is trying to make their presence on the metaverse, what in simple terms we can say that they have a planet of in metaverse. And what do they do? For example, if today you must have played games like any games, car racing games or cricket games. People used to play these games on PCs or on PlayStations or on mobile phones. In short, we needed a device to play the game, but at the same time, the major thing was that we were not able to have first-hand experience.
Correct.
That experience was limited to that device only. Now, just imagine you are playing a car racing game and you are inside that car. You're wearing some kind of goggles. You're wearing that and you are inside that car. So just imagine the kind of experience you'll have. Your user experience will increase significantly.
Yeah.
And this is the example of gaming industry. So gaming companies like Activision and Roadblocks, these companies are their main forte is into gaming. So if I say in their planet, their gaming planet, they will have games based upon metaverse. If I take other companies, for example, Google. Okay, so what is Google doing? Google has this thing called Google Meet. We all use Google Meet. What happens in a Google Meet? Through a laptop, we are accessing the Meet, and there are 6 to 7 people who are in the same forum. But still, there is, it's a secondary user experience. Why? Because your experience is just limited to that laptop. And that also, that affects your productivity as well. Because at the end of the day, after some time, you'll become lazy. Because you know that, okay, there's this laptop in front of me and you're not concentrating properly. Whereas if a person physically would have been present, then your concentration would have been there. Now just imagine if Google has a planet in metaverse, and there you are accessing it, you're wearing your goggles, and instead of a Zoom meeting a Google meeting like this, you are there in the hall. You are actually interacting with all these avatars of your respective colleagues. So that increases your user experience, and that actually solves the purpose, right? You don't have to go to your office, to that respective conference room, and you have to be physically present there. You are there. So that is metaverse. It will increase user experience through its virtual reality. We call it as a virtual reality. Why? Because it's a virtual space and it makes you feel that it's real. It's in reality. Another beautiful example is that, for example, Netflix. Today we watch Netflix through TV. Still, okay, if, for example, we are seeing a thriller movie in Netflix, that still creates an impact. But just imagine if you're wearing those glasses and you are in that movie, in that thriller movie. Suddenly some jump scare comes and you can just imagine the kind of experience you will be having, right? So that is where metaverse helps. It will just, it will significantly change the user experience and the kinds of things we have right now.
Absolutely. And because you just gave an example of movie, I actually experienced some kind of it last 2 months back. I went to a 7D movie in Dubai, where we were actually a character of a movie and a superhero was trying to save us. So we could feel, from the moon we are falling onto the earth, and my parents had nightmare for 3 days after watching that. So that is a possibility, the future that would be at our homes.
That's very much true. And as you said correctly, this 3D and 4D is just, it is a part of metaverse, but at a very infancy stage. Right now, there are huge VR sets with definitely, after wearing these VR sets for about 20-25 minutes, your head will ache. But as I always say, technology always progresses, right now metaverse, people are, there is a hype about metaverse. Why? Not because it is creating history right now, but the kind of potential it has.
Correct.
Right now it is at its infancy stage. See, when we had mobile phones earlier, they were this huge. Now slowly and gradually we have these slim phones that are very much efficient for us, right? And I'm very much sure from these VR sets in a few years we will have glasses like these. You'll just wear them and you are there.
Yeah,
And including this
absolutely.
also includes where if I'm not wrong, this also includes some sensors will also be there. For example,
Yeah,
if you are in a movie, we must have watched 4D movies, right?
correct.
What is the difference between a 3D and a 4D? The visual is same, but the effects of water effects and lightning
Yeah,
effects are there. So having these sensory inputs with these glasses, it can be a suit as well. You're wearing a suit, so your overall experience almost changes. If you are shaking hands with your friends in the virtual world, you can feel it physically. So
correct.
just imagine the kind of efficiency and the kind of user experience this technology will create in the future.
Correct. And I think we can mention here few devices like Oculus. It already has hand sensors and the head sensors and everything. So we can actually place a round circle and tell Oculus, okay, this circle is probably the office, and we are sitting there and chit chatting together.
Yeah, definitely. These kind, see, why I say metaverse is the future, because metaverse will give identity to a lot of things. Just
Hmm.
imagine social media has become a massive wave now, and social media only impacts one portion of our life, that is our social life.
Yeah,
Metaverse has the potential to impact every sector of your life, whether
correct.
it's social, professional, your hobbies, your interactions, anything. And metaverse has the potential to give identity to a lot of things. For example, cryptocurrency. Right now cryptocurrency has a big question mark. It's facing its identity crisis, that
Yeah.
whether crypto will be, what kind of identity does crypto have? Right now there is no identity of crypto. It can't replace the physical
Correct.
currency. But I personally feel metaverse is a virtual world and crypto is a virtual currency.
Correct.
So they can merge beautifully together. So
Yeah.
this is the kind of power that metaverse holds. And as you said, different technologies are there which can actually make their place inside the metaverse.
Yeah, absolutely. Sakshar, as you just mentioned, because metaverse is going to impact so many aspects of the life, I'm sure a lot of data is being collected in the metaverse, and with collection of lot of data comes the privacy issues and concerns. So how this data is actually being used, or how consumers can protect themselves from unauthorized use of data, if ever they can? So, what is your take on this?
Well, this is a beautiful question. I always say that technology is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Double-edged sword in the sense that, okay, these are the positive sides of the metaverse, but there is some concerns. I would not say negative side, but
Yeah.
yes, some concerns are definitely there, and that is the production of data and the management of data.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, right now, immense amount of data is being produced. But just imagine, in metaverse, this will increase 50x. So
Correct.
we have to be well equipped with certain measures as well. And let me tell you, if you study history and economics, you'll understand one thing, that everything has a trend. The
Yeah.
economic cycles that we study, these economic cycles happen every, I think, once in 50 to 100 years. The
Correct.
pattern is almost same. Same goes with technology,
Correct.
that before a technology comes, there are certain bits that are there which will be assisting the technology. For
Yeah.
example, cryptocurrency came way before metaverse,
Yeah.
right? So now cryptocurrency will gain some identity inside the metaverse. Things like, your answering to your question, things like privacy concerns, different countries having their different data protection laws in
Correct.
place, they can actually pave the foundation for the metaverse. If
Mm.
these kind of laws can actually be placed inside the metaverse, then things can be very much simple. Because at the end of the day, the rules and regulations that we have in the physical world, they have to be replicated inside the metaverse. If
Correct.
you will have different rules and regulations for every other thing, then it can become very much complex. So it can hamper the user experience, right? For example, if you have we have certain rules in on the road, right? How to drive. But if I have completely different rules inside the metaverse for driving, then that would become very much difficult. You'll get confused.
Yeah.
But if the rules are same, that okay, red light means stop, green light means go. So that becomes simple. That okay, rules are same. The platform is different. Same goes for these data protection laws. That the rules are same, the laws are same. But okay, considering the metaverse, some modification can be done. But basic principles on which the law lies, things like transparency, there should be transparency in data, circulation. There should be accuracy. There should be consent of the users. These are principles which have to be replicated inside the metaverse. And I think since metaverse is now gaining its speed, it's time for us also as lawmakers to actually think about the ideas and think about the potential laws of especially the data protection laws that will be there inside the metaverse.
And one more important thing which I can think of is the identity theft, because probably in metaverse Priggya is somebody else. It's not me. How somebody else doing meetings on my behalf and getting clients worries me. Me probably. So I don't know how identity thefts would be taken care of in terms of avatars, or how authentication will take place when the number of users grow.
Well, that's again a very good question, because this is another concern that people have. Because at the end of the day, if you are in a game, right, you can take on any avatar. In fact, I can become a girl, and I can, talk to different boys here, and I can do anything.
Correct.
We can see these kind of things happening on Instagram, right? People create fake accounts and they're talking to each other. They don't even know to whom they are talking to. So these kind of things are there, and that's where the role of government comes. I personally feel that lawmakers and the government of respective countries, they have to join hands together. People who say that okay, it's a decentralized system and there is no authority that is required, I don't believe that. Because when there is no authority, then no law can also be there, right? Without law and order, it goes like a cycle. When there is no authority, there is no law and order. When there is no law and order, things go berserk, right? We are, as human beings, we are ruthless creatures. We don't like to follow rules, so we'll do our own things if there are no rules. So at the end of the day, I think laws and rules regarding the identity will be there. And this is my personal opinion, that identity on metaverse will be merged by a physical identity. What do I mean by that is, maybe it will be merged by our Aadhaar card. Any identity proof, it will be merged with that. Maybe your biometrics, which can't be replaced like that. So things like these will come, so that identity crisis is not there. Because if these things are not being taken care of, then the metaverse will go for six. It will be a mad place. Anyone can become anything. And maybe if I am person X, I am committing a crime on metaverse, and that poor person X is being liable. So different things are there. But these are some basic foundations which I know a lot of lawmakers and the governments are taking into consideration, so that they can have proper regulations and they can move slowly and gradually with the metaverse systematically.
Another thing just came in my mind, we have intermediary liabilities currently in place for social media and internet. I think that is also one aspect which would be taken care of. Why? Because as we just said, there would be different worlds. So in every world will have some liability to manage with what's happening inside. And maybe like we have takedown notices on YouTube, we'll have some similar aspects on metaverse as well.
See, again, if you see the trend, this intermediary rules, they came beforehand on the metaverse, but they can actually help us in framing some laws in the metaverse. See, that's how nature, I always believe nature works like that. These cycles work on their own. You can say it's a miracle, it's universe powers, but that happens. All these things are coming, and they're not coming with respect to metaverse. They are just coming with respect to the demands. Like intermediary rules came because there was a demand. We had to tackle different intermediaries as to what kind of rules and regulations will be there for them. But these intermediary rules and regulations can actually be applied to the metaverse. So these things will definitely help. And just imagine one more thing. One big thing is that right now we have one issue one by one. For example, intermediary issue is one, maybe some other issue is two. We take every issue one by one. This metaverse is a world and we are starting it with a scratch. So just imagine the kinds of issues that can, but develop different issues in different sectors, issues in law, issues in business, issues in interactions, issues in identity crisis, issues in regulation of the metaverse and whatnot. So different kinds of things are there. And I personally believe that metaverse will not be something, it will not be a country-based system. I personally believe that, because if it will be a country-based system, then again, it will lose its essence. I think it will work more towards like we have a United Nations in today's time. United Nations is one body and under which different countries are there. And there are certain rules and regulations that we follow. In similar terms, maybe different countries will hold and join hands together. There may be different countries on the metaverse, but it will not be so, the rules will not be so different for every country on the metaverse. Rules here and there, they might change depending upon the religious sentiments and cultural aspects of every country. But more or less, like we have general rules in the UN for every country, and every country follows them, irrespective of whether they are the Western country, an Eastern country, whether they are developed, they are not so developed. Every country follows those universal principles. And I feel in the metaverse also, we will be having certain universal principles. One of those principles can be that, okay, your identity is your identity. You will not, indulge in identity theft, identity fraud, and different kinds of things are there. So when you look at it, you'll also come up with different ideas. But I always believe it's not the idea, it's the execution. And execution has to be on time. Ideas can come to different kinds of people, right? Different kinds of ideas, and that will be definitely genuine. They will hold a lot of potential, but it's all about execution and timely execution. And I personally believe that if we are able to execute these ideas from time to time, then I don't think anything is stopping us from a bright future in the metaverse.
Yeah, I see the future in metaverse. As we just said, it's a double-edged sword. So we need laws in place, and as you said, like for data privacy, also we have some basic guidelines which are framed. Based on that, each country is developing their own laws. But I think it's time to make those laws now, because some countries are still waiting. Like, okay, we'll wait for a few more years, but that wait period should not be more, because technology is growing at a very, very fast rate.
That's true. And coming to your point, India is now introducing their respective data protection bill. And we were waiting for this for a long time. And I'm glad that this is here. Definitely this law is also at its infancy stage. A lot of different gray areas are there, which I'm sure the parliament will be looking at when they will be deliberating at the bill. But that's for sure that we are coming with this law. And one mentality with us was that before COVID, it was that, okay, technology can wait. We will make changes based upon our own speed, right? Our speed, our preferences. But post-COVID, everyone has realized that technology will not wait. And that too, the technology is moving at a rampant pace. As I gave the example, suddenly you might be saying that, okay, post-COVID, new technologies came, metaverse came, Internet of Things boomed, ChatGPT came, and whatnot. But the reality is this will constantly be there. This is the norm of nature, and technology will quickly speed up here and there. So the reality is that at the end of the day, we will have to quicken us. We have to tie our lasers properly, and we have to run fast. And we have to at least match the pace at which technology is moving.
Perfect. So last question in aspect of metaverse, and then we'll move to your personal life again. So last question is, the criminal acts happening in physical world, can it be transformed in metaverse as well? Because I think few days back I was reading that in metaverse, a girl being molested by somebody, and that is a fact that this can happen, and we'll have to foresee the criminal aspects also happening. Maybe currently we have financial frauds through SIM cards and everything. We talked about identity theft. Along with that, the financial theft also happening. So a lot of criminal aspects could also come, and maybe same criminal law is applicable in the metaverse as well. But are governments open to accept the fact that okay, we'll have to accept this happening in metaverse as well?
Well, yes, the crimes are unfortunately they're happening. Whenever
Yeah.
there is a new technology which is attractive, it holds a lot of potential, and it will gain the traction of different people. Then the cyber criminals are also there to take advantage of it. And in fact, this first case came in the United Kingdom, where a
Yeah.
girl just used the metaverse platform, and within 5 minutes, her digital avatar was raped. Now, a
Yeah.
lot of people question that, okay, it's just an avatar, right? She's fine. But okay, this at present, this might not sound grave, but just imagine two things. Number one, in today's world, whenever we are molested online, maybe on Facebook and Insta, then it becomes a big thing, right?
Correct.
So if you can just relate it with that here you're being molested through text, there your avatar is being raped, which is, it's horrific
Correct.
if you are experiencing it. And number two, just imagine in the future, if you have an identity on the metaverse, an official identity. It's not a game that your avatar is
Yeah.
there. In games, right, it happens if you die, you'll restart, you reload. It's not happening like that. If your avatar is there, it has a proper identity. And if it's, anything happens to it, any crime, murder, rape, anything, then it will have the same consequences that we have in the physical world.
Correct.
For example, if your avatar is unfortunately murdered, then yes, physically you are fine, but all your virtual applications will be out. You will not exist in the virtual world. And
Yeah.
what do I mean by exist? If you are working on the virtual world, then you're gone. If you have interactions on the virtual world, then you're gone. It's not, again, I'm saying it's not a game. In game, we take it easy because we know that we'll get immense amount of chances. But here it's not a game. The metaverse will be official. Yes, when you're playing a game in the metaverse, that's a different thing. But if I'm talking about working settings, then this will be grave. But this is another angle. This is a futuristic perspective. But if we see today, yes, if you are being molested on social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook, if that's a big thing, then definitely if your avatar is being raped or even molested, that's also a huge thing. And
Correct.
as to answer your question, yes, laws will be there, and laws have to be there. Without the laws, metaverse will be a mad place. No doubt on that. Anywhere. If today in school also you just leave kids without rules in schools, colleges, and even in your working settings, if even if we are adults, if there are no laws, then we don't work, right? Just a small example. If the boss is not there in the office and no authority is there, we chill out. We know that no one is there, and our productivity goes for six. There is no discipline, and at the end of the day, we know that it's a madhouse, right?
Yeah.
So that is the same thing that will happen in the metaverse. And as lawmakers, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for law students and potential law professionals to actually understand the metaverse and to gain insights as to how different laws can be made, so that in the future they can have an edge over others because they'll understand this space very well. And as soon as this opportunity comes, they'll be ready with all the skill sets and understanding to actually leverage this metaverse platform.
Probably in the future we have courts in the metaverse and we would need that because the number of cases are going to go very, very high.
True.
So Sakshar, we'll come to your life and three very quick questions. Answer these questions very quickly. Three things you're grateful for.
Today, every day, in fact, number one. Number two, the opportunities that God has given me. And number three are my parents. Family, you can say family. Yeah.
Wow. Two traits that you think are useful for an innovator.
To think that he always has to learn. He's a fool, basically. He has to think like that I'm a fool and I have to learn every single day. And number two, to try every single. That inquisitiveness should be there.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. One aspiration you have for the future.
One identity, but like one idol or something.
Aspiration.
Oh, okay, one aspiration. One aspiration is that I am able to learn things at a lightning speed.
Wow. I wish I also have that superpower. So, Sakshar, thank you so much. Any final thoughts for our audience that you would like to give?
Well, final thoughts are simple that don't ignore metaverse. Don't be overwhelmed with metaverse. Don't get scared that this is a new technology you won't understand. Just remember one thing: metaverse is just like a world. It will work based upon the laws, the moralities, the different kinds of logical things, the creativity that we have in the physical world. Whatever you think in the physical world, those laws will be applied in the metaverse, because metaverse is a culmination of human beings, right? At the end of the day, there will be digital avatars, but behind those digital avatars will be us. So human emotions, human decisions, everything will be same. It's just the platform is different. And if you think like that, then definitely you'll be able to understand the space properly, and you'll be able to take advantage of all the opportunities that metaverse will bring in the future.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sakshar, for being on the show, for accepting my invitation. It was wonderful chatting with you.
Same, it was my pleasure. It was a fantastic conversation.
Thank you. Hey there, thank you for attending today's session. If you enjoyed the session, do follow our channel and consider sharing it with a friend. My name is Priggya Arora, daughter of inspiring parents, alumna of IIT Kharagpur, engineer turned lawyer and entrepreneur, and now founder of PA Legal, where we help creators and innovators protect their intellectual property. Thank you.